So you just came back from a crappy day of school or work, and the traffic was hell and the next door neighbors are making noise again, so you just want to vent some frustration. Now I have the perfect medication for that. So let's talk about the Division's player versus player content, right? Today we will be talking about the player versus player content. Now let's start immediately with the Dark Zones. Yes, you heard me right, there will be 3. Dark Zone East, Dark Zone South and Dark Zone West. In the private and open beta I got to play the East one, and not only is it an awesome setting with PvE objectives like landmarks where you go and clear an area and get loot for it, you also constantly have the threat of another player killing you and steal your loot. Still, the standard rules for the Dark Zone apply as they did in Division 2. You gain loot by doing the landmarks, or opening Dark Zone chests, or killing other players and stealing their loot. And afterwards you will be able to extract that loot by the shopper. Now in the Division 2 they changed a few things, and now there are 3 levels of rogue. The grey one, which means you did illegal stuff but not kill another player. Instead you chose to open Dark Zone chests without using keys, you got the extraction rope from an extraction when nobody was looking, or you just used one of the rogue terminals. Now these terminals are very handy because if you increase your duration on your rogue level you can enter something called the Thieves' Den. This is an exclusive place where you find a vendor and some special ammo like incendiary bullets. It also has the added benefit of resetting your rogue status when you leave the Thieves' Den, so when you're in hot mess running away from players, this might be a good way to escape them. The second rogue level you only get when you kill another player, and the third level is a manhunt, when you killed a lot of players. Now playing as a rogue increases not only your experience to gain levels to max level 30, but also your Dark Zone rank. Now for every so many ranks you gain a perk. At your base camp at the White House, you can choose which perk you want, going from automatically getting restock when entering a safe zone to gaining more experience for doing certain content like landmarks or killing other players. So it's really good to gain some levels by playing this game. Now there are 2 things you should know about these things. The rogue status affects everyone in your group, so if your teammate goes rogue, so do you. Now also, don't forget at the exits there are shock turrets who will mow every rogue down who enters their range, so don't even think about spawn camping, guys. Now I know a lot of you are already thinking, I'm not going to the Dark Zone, what's the point to killing enemies for loot and then getting killed so I end up with nothing? But the Division 2 changed one other rule. Not all gear is contaminated, so if it's not, you gain it like any other piece of gear outside Dark Zone. But only the contaminated stuff, and normally also the better stuff, needs to get extracted by the shopper. Now all Dark Zones will be normalized, so everyone should be more or less on the same level gear-wise. But every week one Dark Zone will be occupied, which means it's only for players who reach the endgame content, so you reached max level 30, and your stats will not be normalized in this place. There will also be no statuses and friendly fire will be turned on permanently. It will be exactly like when the Dark Zone was originally in the first Division game for who played that, but don't forget, higher risks yield higher rewards, so this is probably worth doing if you are geared up enough for it, or just want to take the risk. But if you don't feel up to the challenges of the Dark Zone and still want to do PvP, you can do Conflict. These are the more straightforward game modes where 2 squads of 4 are pitted against each other. Either you play Capture the Point, more commonly known as Domination in other games, where you just need to capture preferably 2 or more of the 3 objectives and hold these for a certain time to win the game. Now the other mode is called Skirmish, which is a more straightforward deathmatch. Each team gets 20 lives, the team that depletes the other team's numbers of lives quicker wins. So far we know there are only 2 maps right now, the Stadium and the Capitol Ruins. For doing this kind of PvP you will get caches which drop gear, but going on what they offered in the beta, this gear won't be as interesting as the ones in the Dark Zone.